Howdy guys, I have been doing many things, and I hope you have been too. I know you've been missing me. Sorry about that. But anyway, I have some things to share with you. So join me, won't you? Because we are about to go on a drive. But before we do, I have to ask you, what is one thing that you wish were different about driving? Go. There, now I've done the intro. Let's get on with it, shall we? Back, naturally, because, of course, why wouldn't we be? Anyway, I get to drive this. Ooh, yeah, big monster. Anyway, don't know if it's going to start or not. Haven't even driven it all week, so I don't even know. We shall see. Anyway, oh goodness. Wait a minute. There we go. You are now part of the deal. And like I was saying before, there are some things that I get to tell you about. First off, let me get us started. Oh yes. You know what? It's actually running. To quote the movie Waterworld, there was actually a line in there where they went to hop in the beat-up Cadillac convertible that happened to be on the lower deck of the what was supposed to be the oil tanker, the Exxon Valdez, which supposedly sank, but it somehow didn't in this movie. But the line was, "Hey, she's driving better," and he said that as it was backfiring, and the wheels with no tires, were scraping across the metal floor there, because for some reason, even though the timeline of that movie suggested that it was only a 12-year gap, but somehow in those 12 years that car somehow managed to not have a vinyl top and not have any tires, and was running around on rims that were already rusted, but for some reason that doesn't line up with reality, and I think that's why that movie flopped. But anyway, I just went off on a tangent that I will have to just go. But anyway, let's get moving, because like I was saying, I have been doing work up here, which means that I haven't been doing work elsewhere. You can see it. I mean, the only thing that I did to help the way the truck runs is put a little bit of fuel treatment in the gas tank, which miraculously has managed to calm it, at least for the moment. So we're going to see just how good or bad that has turned into. But anyway, let's roll. Did I lock the door? Pretty sure I locked the door. I seem to remember locking the door. Do you ever do that? Do you ever go, did I lock the door? Did we remember to turn off the coffee pot? Did we ever remember to do anything? Do we? Uh-oh. I know how much that must have hurt me poking you in the face there just a moment ago, but anyway. Uh-oh. Oh, hello. I don't play that sport. There we go, while I've made you a little... There we go. Yes, it's locked. Here we go. Don't know how that's going to look in the edit, so we're going to just go for it. Anyway. Now. First off, I want you to tell me in the edit, or tell me in the comments section below. Please, put it in the chat. Which do you prefer? This where you can see me while I'm driving, or the view out of the windshield? Because I honestly don't know, and none of you have bothered to tell me. So we are going to go down the road, and we are going to explore. I'll talk to you while we're doing it. Anyway. Now, it is... Oh my God, what day is today? I know it's Saturday, but I'm trying to remember what the date actually is. Anyway, you know what? Forget it. It's not relevant. What is relevant is the work that I've been doing. Now, internally, in my mind and in my heart, I have to confess this, okay, you guys, as much as I smile and as much as I feel good, I've been running at a loss. I have. I can't get past the fact that I've been running at a loss. For the entire time that y'all have known me, I have been running at a loss. Not monetarily, not physically, not any of that stuff. It's been mentally and emotionally. Okay? I've been running at a loss. I can't go through a day where I don't feel like something's missing. Put one in the chat if you agree with that sort of thing and believe that you also feel that way. But anyway, in case you're wondering, that's part of the reason why you haven't heard from me for the past week and whatever many days it's been. It's primarily just been because my sorry little pipsqueak mentality has not been good enough to pull me out of the, whatever that I've been experiencing, because I have. I've been trying my hardest to not be meh. And incidentally, let me show you how that's pronounced. Hang on a second. So anyway, you start out with the which is back here, and then the which is over here on this side. You have to use this side because it's only proper. And then the and that comes out at the end with your mouth like that. So prepare yourself. Let's practice this. You see? Did you hear it? It all came together. So I have been living. Okay? So, see, it's even funny when you make fun of yourself sometimes. So anyway, I'm going to get back to the brass tacks of this. Okay. Every single one of us, you included, myself included, we all have emotions, right? Now, emotions can be a result of our logic, or they can rule our logic. But they cannot do both. It has to be one or the other. Now, notice how I said that. They can rule our logic, or they can be the result of our logic. Now, having that presented to you, how does that make you feel? Does it sound sensible? Does it sound crazy? Is it some mixture of the two? Do you feel like you could get a handle on your own life if you haven't already, if you knew that sort of thing was the case? I know some people don't think so. I happen to believe that if one can grasp hold of one, that it can control the other quite easily. The question is, which one do you grasp hold of? Now, I'd wager about 80% of the time I could guess your gender based on which one of those you grasp hold of. And I'm sure that a lot of you are saying the same thing and agree with me right now, but it's the 20% that I'm sure that you don't agree with. I imagine you're probably sitting there, it's like, no, it's all the time. But I'm not so sure. Because there are some, I'm kind of that way, that fall into that, well, I think that way 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time, I can't deal with it. I have to have some vice to keep me from crying because that's not manly, or it's not powerful, I guess I should say, because it's not about a case of man versus woman. It's more a case of it is not powerful to reveal not powerful to reveal that one has moments of weakness. Okay? Because there are individuals out there who have become masters at guarding that sort of thing. My goodness, this is such a fun curve. One of these days I gotta bring you guys out here on the motorcycle. This is a fun curve. I like this. In fact, I might bring you guys out here on the bicycle if I can ever get up the nerve to put the camera on the bike and pedal out here while y'all are watching, because I have actually done it without the camera and it is a blast. But to actually have you guys look at how slow I actually am on the bicycle is kind of embarrassing. So there's that. Anyway. Oh crap, that's my turn. Whee! Alright. Now, where was I going with that? Oh yes. I know that when I started this whole deal that I was going to try and keep this automotive related. So I'm going to try and tie that in with this particular video, but I'm not sure if it's going to relate. So just bear with me as I try to do that sort of thing. My point is this. Wow, oh my goodness, this is such a cool route. One of these days, if you are in the West Georgia area, hit me up and we will go ride bicycles together on this route. This is so fun. Anyway, the point that I keep skipping past is that we all have our emotions, and our emotions can be dictated by our logic, or our logic can be dictated by our emotions. And what I mean by that is that emotion can, it's almost impossible to describe when I'm seeing stuff like this, because it is this drive is actually relaxing me, and it's probably going to affect the content of what I say, but at this point in time I'm kind of just going for it, because that is a fantastic view. Look at that. Anyway, let's suppose that you are in the middle of some sort of argument. I won't make any odds as to what sort of argument you are in. I won't go over any details, because that is not the concern of this video, nor is it on my mind as to what you would argue with someone about. But what it is, correct me if I'm rambling, that you can feel a certain way about anything if you get it into your head that such a thing is unfair. More the point, if you get it into your head that such a thing is unfair directly to you, and that such a thing being unfair directly to you is affecting you in any particular way, positively, negatively, or any of that, it can all register, and it can trip you up. Basically, it can affect how you proceed with the rest of the day. I'll give you a really good example. I have a difficult time controlling my emotions on some days. Not every day. There are some days where I feel, notice I said that, I feel. There are some days where I feel that I have done so well, and that can be backed up by the logic of all of the things that I have done that day. Logically, materialistically, everything has gone well, which means that then I will have a feeling that I have done well. And it will be accurate to have said that. And it will be accurate to have said that and to have thought it. It will be accurate to say that and to feel that way. And as a result, my emotions about that day are happy-go-lucky. I feel great, wearing my heart on my sleeve. Everybody knows how I feel. There are seldom ever days where people wonder how I'm doing, because they can tell by the expression on my face, or they can tell how I walk, my demeanor, how I talk to other people. But then there are other days. Now, I don't have to describe to you those other days, but I'm going to anyway. Those other days where I will feel that I have not done so well. And on those days that I have that feeling where I have not done so well, will also be the days where I will sit back and reflect. I'll sit and I'll stew. I will consider all points, whether good, bad, indifferent, anything that has an effect on what I feel. Notice I said it again, I feel. That I feel will have had an adverse effect on something that should have logically worked. And that because it didn't logically work, it has somehow been twisted, manipulated, unfairly modified to the effect that it has made my day bad. And that if it happens often enough, that it means that I will be justified in lashing out at whatever is directly in front of me. Now, I do have a tendency to strike onto inanimate objects, mostly because I feel that I can take out my anger on inanimate objects much, much, much more effectively than I ever can on a person. Because if you do anything to harm another human being, you lose that person forever, whoever they are. It doesn't matter. I have experienced this towards me, and I have put this towards other people before. It has happened. It is not a good thing to have happen, and it's not something that you should ever really. It's not something you should ever really do. I mean, it's in all cases it's bad, regardless of which direction it's going. But I do have the tendency to take out my frustration on inanimate objects. I think there was someone yesterday that saw me. Actually, I don't think. I know that I was witnessed. I punched a couple of tires yesterday at work. Punched the stacks. Didn't hurt the tires at all. Didn't really hurt my hand either. It was like punching a pillow. You remember in Analyze This, in Robert De Niro versus Billy Crystal? I mean, it was one of their better movies, to be brutally honest. But that act of punching,
wow, horses and donkeys, wow.
That act of punching, right? It was an act of frustration taken out on an inanimate object. And I will describe to you why I felt compelled to punch said inanimate object. Said inanimate object received a punch from my hand because when I pulled down its identical brethren so that it could be put onto a dolly to be wheeled over into a staging area, when it bounced off of the floor, it came up and hit my hand that was not ready for it. It happened to be in the way, and it pulled my fingers backwards. You know how you can ball up a fist, right? Well, notice how when you ball up a fist, the fingers curl the fingers, well, here, when you ball up a fist, the fingers curl like that, okay? Like that. When the tire bounced, okay? When the tire bounced, it made my hand do that number. Except it was such an extreme angle. I think it probably was more like that. But anyway, that was very painful, and it was one that got under my skin because the day hadn't been the best of days, but it hadn't been the worst of days. So I was already kind of under it. And when that happened, I just lost it. I just lost it. I was like, okay, fine. Tire wants to hurt me, I'll hurt it back. Except I didn't really hurt it. I mean, come on. It's a tire. I mean, tires are like really stupid tough. You can't really, I mean, you can cut one with a knife, but that's about the worst you can do. I mean, the car that you mount it on creates far more stress on a tire than you'll ever be able to do by hand. And I think I've just reached I have. Yes, I have. Well, congratulations for going on a little explore with me. I have come to an electrical power station where I shall now find out what no trespassing really means. Psych! I'm not going in this place. I know where I know who owns this. This is Georgia Power's property. Oof. I hope I don't get stuck down here. That would suck. Hang on. Let's try and do a light pedal. There we go. Yes! Oh, that's beautiful. Probably like that. And now see, this is where the manual's version of driving and my version of driving differ, because the manual would have suggested, now just go back and do the rotation in the road. The road is safer. Yeah, right. Anyway. There, see how easy that was? As maneuverable as this Bolt's car. I could have done that in the frickin' box truck. It wouldn't have mattered. Anyway. So, getting back to this whole nonsense of punching the tire, okay? Once I punched the tire, I started doing reflection in my head. Now, on the surface, what everybody saw versus what I was actually thinking were two different animals completely. Okay? What I presented to everyone was no, it's fine. It'll be fine. You know, that kind of smiley face. Just brush it off. I was just letting some steam out. Don't worry about it. In my head, totally different. Totally different. In my head, it was a how dare you, I am going to find what really caused this problem and correct it someday kind of mentality. Now, that attitude lasted about, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, tops. Oh, there's Amazon. They're going to go down to the electrical station and get stuck. This should be fun. We should go down there and watch. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, wait a minute. It's Saturday. Why is the school bus running? Somebody let me know in the chat if I've missed something. Why is the school bus running on a Saturday when there's no game out? Okay, anyway. Getting back to this whole business of my mentality and my internal work. Right. I try to be self-aware. I really do. And I think that's part of the reason why I react the way that I do. It's a kind of, how dare I? How dare they? How dare this? Why is this way? Why can't I fix this? Why can't this be... What's the remediation here? Why can't this be fixed? Why can't this be corrected?
Whoa, horses and donkeys! Oh my God, they're beautiful! Oh, and cows! Oh my goodness! Oh, they're so cute!
Anyway, forgive me. I can't help it. I should have become a farmer. Anyway. So the idea is,
Squeaky brakes.
the idea is, whoops a daisy, that, you see what I'm doing? I'm taking you on the bike route. So the idea is, okay, that there is this part in the back of my mind that says, well, why can't this be prevented for next time? You know, what are the procedures? What is the remediation? What is it that caused what just happened? How is it unfair? And how can it be corrected so that it is fair? Or how can it be corrected in such a way, in this case, where the tire bounced up, because, I mean, come on, it's physics. You can't correct physics. But what procedures can be followed differently inside of such a workplace that it would not react the same, or that I would not have been in the way, rather, to have had that issue happen in the first place? How does that change? How is that different? And it's fine and dandy to think that. It's quite another to try and go through all of the procedures in your head in that moment and then go, well, gee, I suppose I could. But then to find out that you're the only one on board with the idea. And then once you realize that it's all you, nobody else has even given thought to that, or has even, you know, there has been no attempt, no forethought, no afterthought, nothing, no ideas to, oh my God. By the way, this is West Georgia Regional Airport. Anyway, I hope that wasn't too blurry there just now. Maybe that'll come back better in the edit. It'd be really cool if I had a video shot of a plane passing over while there are cows over on the other side of the road. Anyway, getting back to this whole nonsense of, you know, what can be done differently. And the truth is that the only way that such a thing will ever be changed is if either A, you personally change it, or B, enough people are affected in exactly the same way that it is changed for fact of protecting the greater good. What did I just mention? A plane taking off in amongst the cows? Look at that. That's fantastic. I wasn't even expecting that. I was only kidding. Ha ha ha. Wow. That's cool. Anyway, let me get back to the... so many things have happened here. This is already becoming a better day. And all I had to do was go for a drive. Which means that if you are ever having a bad day, you should go for a drive. Just hop in the car and go. Just don't even... In fact, probably don't even need to run the radio. Just go for a drive. A real one. Not where you're like sitting in town in traffic, because everybody hates that. I don't mind it, but I don't like it. And I know that you probably don't. Because there aren't very many people that do. They say, oh yes, I love to sit in traffic. No, you don't. You tolerate it. It's because it's wasting your time and you're wanting to get somewhere, and you can't because there are other people in the road just like you. See what I mean? Told you. Cyclist road. Although that was an interesting cyclist. Most of us that ride on this road all wear Lycra and special shoes and a funny helmet with horn vents in it. Notice how we're just coasting. I haven't even touched the gas pedal. In fact, I'm having to hit the brake. There we go. Anyway. And he was having to climb the hill. I feel bad for him. Because his bike was overweight and he was not wearing cyclist clothing. He was in jeans. Jeans are hard to ride in, by the way. They get caught in the chain, and you have to strap them down and freaking make sure that they don't bunch up in your junk. It's hard. It's not ideal. It's not easy. I'm going to ditch the bike route. Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. This is the modified bike route. Because, dun, 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 guess what? Everyone who is a local will recognize this intersection. And every one of you who is a cyclist, particularly those that have ridden with me, will know what's about to happen. Because for this part of the ride, you have to stay on Hog Liver Road, which means you go across US 27. Now, if we were on a bicycle, I'd be shitting a brick right now, but I'm in a truck, so I'm just going to go ahead and take it. There we go. All right. Now, getting back to this whole business of how such a thing can be viewed as a potential for correction. There are actions that can trigger any individual, good, bad, or indifferent. And there's no real way of telling whether or not any particular individual is going to react any particular way to any particular event. There's just no way. Can't figure it out. You can have a general sense, you know. Beyond that, it really isn't possible. So all you really can do is go for the general accepted practices. In fact, that even sounds like a that sounds like a title for a book. And if I ever decide to become a writer, I might write that out and just do it and call it that. General practice. Yeah, I like that. I'll do that. Anyway, the idea that you can do anything beyond that is just silly. You really can't. I mean, all you can really do is just know what the general accepted practices are and just follow it as best you can, because beyond that there really isn't anything else that you can do unless you already know said individual, in which case you base it on that instead of the little book. Now, I'm going to clear up some things here because obviously there's some vagueness that I've been practicing on here. Now, if you are open to the concept of self-reflection, self-awareness, and self-repair, I guess you could call it, then yes, you can take all of these things in stride. Look at that. That's fantastic. Can't help myself. I'm just loving the scenery. Forgive me.
Oh, Christmas lights. Oh, look at the donkey. Oh, there's little horses. Oh my goodness.
As you can tell, I'm not much of a manly man in some cases. If I see a fuzzy, furry little animal, then my instinct is actually to go over and offer it a treat or pet it. And maybe that's part of my personality that kind of... maybe that's part of my personality that goes along with just... I don't know. That might just be me. But know that is me. So there we go. You now know a little portion of me. And I like little animals that are kind of cute and fuzzy, you know. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, but did he have no hair? No, not if he was Fuzzy Wuzzy. Now, there's more that goes here, but I'm trying to keep this video short. So I'm going to keep this, in fact, I'm going to try and remember what time I started, because today I'm not using the app. I just pointed the camera at myself and turned it on, so I have no idea when I actually started. I'm just free ranting now. I mean, but anyway. To cut to the point, and yes, this is US 27 again. To cut to the point, if I had the ability to repair, then why wouldn't I take it? Why wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't you? I would. I'd love to be able to look at something and go, yeah, I fixed that. I do it all the time with cars. But lately, and you've been witnessing it, I'm sure, because that's why there are massive gaps in some of my videos where there are like, and by that I mean like, this is the first posting that I've done for like a week or so, maybe, that was actually my post. I mean, last week's post was a freaking recording of, well, you probably saw it. It was Artie Lang. And it was the Conan O'Brien show. But my point being is that I have been having to do some actual soul searching. I have been having to look inside of myself and say, what am I doing here on this planet? What is my real purpose here? What are my goals? What are my actions? What are my likes? What is all of this? How am I important to myself? How am I important to the rest of the world? How am I important in general? I mean, you know, this is where having friends helps. It really does. And by the way, if you're watching and you're one of the people that already know me, not from YouTube, but from genuinely already knowing me, I want to take this time, hang on. First, a nice shot. Look at that. That's some beautiful sky, isn't it? First that shot, and now this one. Whoops. Uh-oh. There we go. Now this one. Thank you. Thank you. I mean that. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. More important, thank you for being my friend. Sometimes things can get hairy. Sometimes things can get hard. And for a few of you out there, I know that you got my back. And I want you to know that I appreciate it. Know this, I have yours. Okay? It's a hard enough world as it is. It really is. So, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, I didn't mean to bring the rest of us down, but here we are. And by here we are, I actually, here we are. Oh, look. Sheriff's sitting over there. He probably saw me did that. Which means that now I'm going to get pulled over for playing with an electronic device while driving. That should be fun to explain to everybody. No, Sir Ossifer. I promise I'm not as think as you drunk I am. What do you mean I can't walk this straight line? This line ain't straight. Look at that. It goes across that foot right there and it turns. Wait, what do you do? Why do you want me to put my hands behind my back, Ossifer? I didn't do nothing wrong yet. Oh, sometimes I'm so bad. Anyway, sorry, I had to give a little comic relief there. So anyway, use that as you will, because it really did pass through my mind. It really did come out of my mouth, and I'm not going to apologize for it, because I thought it was hilarious. And that's another thing too, is that the online community, doing YouTube is interesting. And this is the other point that I wanted to make before I shut the camera off and decide to go get dinner, because it's about that time. In fact, I'm probably going to go get... Well, actually, it doesn't even matter. Yes, it does. I'm probably going to drive into town and get some Zaxby's. And if you've never had Zaxby's, know that it's a kind of wants to be Chick-fil-A but kind of isn't restaurant. Its big thing is serving chicken, and they take about the same amount of time to prepare their chicken as Chick-fil-A does, and they are about the same price range, give or take. But what really makes me like them over the other is primarily just the fact that it's not as popular, which means that I can go in there and the parking lot isn't that the drive-through line isn't extending into the next county. I mean, the Chick-fil-A's out here have gotten so bad that they've had to hire traffic guards, or not traffic guards, but people to direct traffic. You know, the ones that they have the little funny batons, and they have that whole I'm going to point you in this direction and I need you to go this way, blah blah blah, that kind of nonsense. It's that sort of thing. Zaxby's doesn't have that problem because they're not as popular. So I can't figure out why their chicken is about the same. I mean, it's not bad. It's good stuff. Maybe it's just that the wait is a little longer, and maybe you know what? I think I know what it is. I've just figured it out. It's because the oh, goats! Goats! Oh god, that's going to be blurry as hell, but I don't even care. Oh, they're so cute. Farmland. Anyway, God, I got to stop doing that. I'm just so enamored that I just want to continuously show you guys that stuff, even though you go, yes, Patrick, we've seen it before, we know what it looks like. Anyway, that's my idea for dinner, Zaxby's. So there we go. Anyway, this whole YouTube thing, and this is the other thing I want to point on before I get out of here, because I know that this video has probably already lasted at least 20 minutes. It's this. When did we as a species, or as a society, become so obsessed with what other people think? This is the paradox that the YouTube in particular has always had. It's because of the fact that the people that are producing on YouTube to create the content that you are now watching, myself included, have to sit back and go, okay, I have something that I want to present, but I have to present it in such a way that it's popular enough to get enough views so that people will continue to watch it, one, and two, tell other people that think that, hey, you know what, this was a good show to watch, and they go and watch it. Which means that the content is actually edited before the presenter ever speaks. It's not a case of, well, here we're going to, we're going to investigate what such a thing looks like, and we're going to present it in the way that it comes out. No. What we're going to do instead is we're going to sit back and react to things. We're going to make things look a certain way. The Instagram ones are the worst, because they come up and it's like, oh, they have the most perfect life. No, they don't. They have a camera that they were able to turn off and practice their lines before they ever posted what that was that they were trying to make. The picture was taken 12 times before they said, yes, that's the one. The videos that are shot in, Lear jets, right? Private jets, private yachts. 80% of that time, that's a rental. Home Fry that's doing that video don't own that shit. There's about 80% of the guys out there that are like, yeah, I'm a car guy. They rent them. Now, it's okay that they rent them. That part is totally cool. But it's about the fact that they don't present it as a rental. They present it as their own, and that is a lie. Now, if they're presenting it as their own, and it is their own, then that is not a lie, and then that becomes okay. But the thing is that when you're at that level behind the camera or in front of it, most of the time, you can make a pretty convincing argument in either direction, and that creates the narrative. That creates the vision of truth rather than the actual truth. I'm going to say that again. That creates the vision of truth rather than the actual truth. Dare I say it, there are probably half of the people out there that live in a vision of truth rather than the actual truth. They see something and they think, well, I'm just going to present that. Do you think all of these people that are presenting cosmetics really buy all that stuff? I'd wager that half of them don't. Do you think that the people that are presenting these cars, do you think that they own them? Again, I'd say half of them don't. The ones that are honest are not always the ones that get views. And that's sad. And that puts me into that other mode of like, well, that's not fair. But it brings out that one line. In fact, this was uttered really eloquently in the movie Labyrinth. And I'm showing my age here, but if you have never seen Labyrinth, oh my God, you need to go watch it. You need to go watch Labyrinth if you've never seen it. The one line that's uttered in there, well, that's not fair. And then who is it that comes back and says, well, life's not fair? That was the whole, that was like the story just having a moral for no reason. Even though there was good reason for it to have that moral, but still, it was immoral. Or not immoral, it was amoral. It was amoral. Okay? Now, once you get into the position of thinking, well, life's not fair and it never has been fair, then you can start to look at it from a different perspective and go, well, life in general is not fair, never has been, never will be. But how can I make it